What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy Bdammone in the house for episode 150 of Along the Wire, back. Sorry we left you, and I've got my wonderful co-host with me.
Bdammone Gomez, Coach Gomez. We're in the house for the
Hey.
2024 season, baby.
Hey, this is gonna be an incredible season for San Antonio High School football.
Oh, yeah.
Man, for this 24-25 graduating class, expectations for programs in the city, a lot of change, a lot of turnover with coaches. We've had kids transfer out here and there. So it's been a busy offseason for everybody involved in San Antonio high school football.
No doubt. You even got big men popping out now with all these offers. I'm talking about all over the city, not just how it was before. A lot of skilled players. Now you got some big boys that are starting to pop out, they're shaking it up.
Hey,
they're starting to hear about us down here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we've got something special today. I say special because yes, we are back, and because it's just time to get that season going. Football again. We already got college rolling. It's the week of high school football.
You mean week 0, baby?
Week 0.
Week 0.
Week 0. Scrimmages are done. I've looked at scrimmage footage, huddles, film. Make sure y'all continue to send it to me. And this is a very important time of the year. Seniors locked in already with their commitments. Juniors waiting to make their name. Sophomores getting their first chances. Some freshmen finally being able to try to prove themselves. Hopefully they're able to get some time on the varsity. But
not only that, now yeah, I'm talking to all y'all watching, the ones that say that I'm slept on. Well, guess what? It's time to show out, baby.
Exactly.
It's time to show out.
Exactly.
I'm slept on, coach. You know it's time to show out on them grades, and it's time to show out on the field.
Exactly. And like I was saying earlier on the IG Live, hey, I'm no longer saying San Antonio slept on.
No
longer.
No.
And this is the time for y'all to show and prove. While everybody was out there doing stuff, I hope you were in the lab working on your craft, because now is the opportunity. So what we're going to run down today is 3 things. We're going to go over people who we think are going to win district, the teams that are going to win district. We are going to go over our pick'ems for week 1.
I think we should save that one, man.
We should save that one?
Yeah, because by the time the district's done, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we don't have to run through the entire teams of district. So
we'll go through like a couple.
Yeah, we'll go through
some key matchups.
Yeah, we'll go through 4. We'll go through 4 of the districts. And then do the pick'em.
Oh, you trying to shake up the internet? Well, coach, y'all didn't talk about this district. Y'all didn't talk about that district. You trying to shake it up?
Hey, there's plenty weeks, and there's gonna be performances that happen that are gonna make us have to talk about them.
No, you know what? You're right. Let's talk about them, because you did get my my pick'ems early. That way you don't go ahead and change them, huh? Right, Joe?
Yeah, like how many days to look over them?
Yeah, he was on vacation looking.
Yeah, he was over there on the boat somewhere looking at your little picks, you know.
Yeah. Confirmed.
How I was looking at him was like, man, how could he be so wrong?
This is a defending champion, baby, 2-time.
Okay, so all right, so pick'ems or the districts first?
Let's go with we'll end with pick'ems.
Okay, well, we will end with pick'ems, and then we're gonna highlight some of the kids that we've been dealing with or working with in the off season from last year to now, and some kids that we think that you should know about coming into the season, or who might make their names.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's kick it off. Pick a number 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
5.
Hey, this is
all right. I'll go 3.
All right, 3.
You probably should have told. Oh, you're gonna do it on here.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
All right, so Joe, let's bring up what I see. All right.
There you go.
Thanks to Max Preps. Appreciate you for having this up here. The district. So we have selected District 6A 20 27, 29, 29. No, 27, 6'8". And that is Brennan, Harlan, Holmes, Marshall, O'Connor, Sotomayor, Stevens, Taft, and Warren. So, who's winning that district?
I think Harlan can probably bring that district out, but at the same time, Holmes is going to be coming in strong this year.
Wow.
I think
Holmes. Okay, so should I ask why Holmes? Could they
they're
be,
going to be
in
the dark horse?
Okay,
so
they're the squad that could upset somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I like that. Me myself, and I'm wrong. That is 28-6A. I'm gonna go with Brennan winning that district.
Brennan.
I like the fact that they are still sound defensively. That is their mantra. They've got good returning talent. I like their quarterback, Glass, and I just feel like people talk about Brennan and they can't get over the fact that last year they lost to Steele and got blanked.
Yeah, I like Harlan, and then I like Brennan, and then Sotomayor, and then it'll be Holmes.
Okay. That Holmes pick is really blowing my mind. It's really blowing my mind because going over my predictions for how the district would lay out would be Brennan, Harlan, Taft, and Sotomayor, Warren battling out for that.
Warren will probably end up coming out of nowhere, right? Just because I'm upsetting them because I coached every single one of them on 7-on-7. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to give them that. Hey, they're going to be in the top 4, the top 3. Not only that, they've gotten some good additions in the coaching staff. You know what I mean? Defensively, not only that, with Coach Gonzalez, it brings
Arafat.
a lot. Yeah, he brings a lot, and Arafat, they bring a lot of experience. They got some key players over there as well. You had Pops that was battling for that quarterback position, and at one point we didn't know who was going to be the quarterback,
right?
And then
they had a spot open up.
Yeah, he ended up transferring out.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about that is that Gonzalez was working over the summer with all these boys already, so they were kind of gelling already coming into the fall.
Right.
They established that bond, that chemistry, especially with some of them receivers. I have some notes as far as kids that I believe that are going to contribute throughout the year, just based off of the way they handle themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? The commitment they got. So offensively, of course, I talked about Gonzalez at QB. I think he's been waiting for his opportunity, and I think he's going to take advantage of the opportunity. He has great leadership skills. A kid that you can count on. A kid that, hey, he says he's going to do something. He's going to execute it. Stays within himself, but I think he's going to do great this year. You got Trevon Mitchell at running back, who's going to definitely. I think he's going to rack up some yards, especially when he's behind Amos. You know what I mean? So the offensive line, they'll be pretty good. Now, defensively, you got Lee Thompson, you got Christian, you got Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis, he can be. He's a kid that I'm waiting for his switch to turn.
Right.
Just flip that switch.
Right.
Once he flips that switch,
This is a question I want to ask, and this might be a dangerous question to ask. When you have a kid like that who you see the potential before they've recognized it in themselves, how do you trigger that to motivate? What type of delivery would you say is needed to get that motivation outside of the fact that we're talking about the kid right now?
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of it too is just having, a lot of it has to do trusting the coaches, trusting your system. You know what I'm saying? And believing in each other. I think that's what Warren had been missing, and they just got this year. So that's why it's hard for me to say, yeah, they're going to finish up here, they're going to finish down there.
Right.
It's one of those things where, like I said, it's going to be interesting, bro. It's going to be interesting. But back to what you were saying, I think it's a lot of it where coaches just believing in the kids themselves. I don't know if this kid's never had a coach that really believed in them, or I don't know if he showed. You see, I I've had them only for a little bit,
Right.
right? Like we always talk about,
Right.
you only have a kid for a certain amount of time. But I think with the coaches that they have now, I think that when I say that switch to be turned on, I think that these coaches that they have now are gonna, how would I say, troubleshoot the kid and bring him up to par. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you got that info on Warren, and you've got Holmes as your sleeper, and you got Harlan winning district.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got Brennan winning district. I've got Harlan coming in second, and I've got Taft with Sotomayor and Warren battling out. As we both know, Coach Morales at Sotomayor did a great job at Holmes.
Yep.
So, like, emotionally, I'm like, man, Soto, if he did it there, then I know he can do it here with the kids that I'm seeing that Soto has, who I'm going to talk about one later. Just that floor and seeing that he was able to motivate the kids there. Because if you remember, the kid Ernie at Holmes was like a missile.
Yeah.
In the secondary, and now I think he's got multiple of those guys at Soto who have the look, but not everybody has that dog. I'm not saying y'all don't have it, but Ernie was
a dog.
Yeah. So I'm definitely thinking that Soto with the win streak and the season that they had last year, the word I'm using for this season is carryover. And I think they've got a very good carryover and the same coaching staff, a lot of continuity, and I think that they can see their improvement. So I think that they can sneak in. But just like you said with Warren, maybe Warren's what Soto was last year.
Yeah.
So
I like Harden just because I know Salas is always going to have that group ready. No matter what he has,
they can pick and plug and their creativity
and they got some speedsters back there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Some guys that are really quick, and he's really true to establishing a running game before a passing game. Every time we cover them each year, it's
which is funny because you can see their highlights of them chunking the ball, but if you go to the game, it's set up off the run.
Yeah, always set up off the run. So he's one that I like this year going to, and that's just because Brennan doesn't have the same personnel that they've had in the previous years where they were just dominating everyone in their district. I think this year's it's a level playing field, and I think it's up for grabs, to be honest with you.
And I can't disagree with that. I just definitely think that people forget Brennan won 10 games last year. They were 10-3.
What's their coaching staff look like this year?
It's not the same,
okay.
But
I mean, you got the main guy there, but he can't be everywhere at once either.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
It's I don't know.
We'll see. You got to make sure those tires.
I'm not saying that I don't.
Those
like
tires
Brennan,
are rotating.
I love what Brennan's about.
No,
I love the culture that they have and what they've built.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's time to turn it over. You know what I'm saying?
So let's see.
We'll see.
All right, that's
why we're here, to shake it up.
That was 28-6A. That was 28-6A. All right, pick 1, 2, or 4.
It's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna go with 1. So we're gonna go down to 5A. And it's 5A Region 1 District 13. So 5. That sounds like what's that movie? The one with the districts and crap. I don't even remember what it's called. Hunger Games. All right, District 13, 5A. That is going to
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Wagner, Smithson Valley, Victoria East, Seguin, Piper, New Braunfels, Bernie Champion, and Mac. That to me is going to be a very entertaining district.
Each year, Wagner, I mean, they have the athletes to compete.
Right.
And it's just a matter of the commitment level. I haven't seen the commitment level since, the Hendricks is left and the Tobias Weavers and
Butler.
all that, and Butler and all that.
Yeah.
Of course, they were athletes, so it was a combination of athleticism and commitment.
Black,
but they were all committed to each other, those guys that we all named off. You know what I'm saying? So when you got guys that are committed on Cobbs on both sides of the ball, and they were playing for each other the way they did,
right?
I mean, Wagner has talent they can put out each year, but it's just a matter of are they going to buy into the system? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, man, being in that district, I say Wagner or Champion will run that district.
Ooh, over Smithson Valley?
I don't know. I like Smith and Valley too, though. But that's gonna be like I said, we're shaking it up this year, baby.
Okay. Maybe you're shaking and I'm stern. You know, like that's just I don't know. Maybe I'm comfortable with
You gotta get out of your comfort zone, bro.
Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. Well, this was made before I'm out of my comfort zone.
All right, what's up?
So I got all right. So you have Wagner or Bernie Champion?
I got let's go with Wagner and you're talking about the district though, right?
Yeah, winning
okay,
the district.
We'll go Wagner, we'll go Smith and Valley, Bernie Champion.
What's shocking is that there's no Piper in there.
True.
Okay, so I'm going Smith and Valley winning that district. Somebody's got to show me different. And them being in 5A now, and they've done it at 6A.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both at the game when they beat.
That's why I went with Wagner and I went with Smith and Valley, and then of course Bernie Champion is Bernie Champion, bro. You're talking about
I hate to do this. But and I've been thinking about doing a graphic like as in like why we choose what we choose, but Larry Hill has a way of making Smith and Valley a different team every single week. Until any of these coaches is able to do that, I'm going with Hill. Because, I mean, it's looked at times like Smith and Valley did not have a quarterback last year.
And that's fine. I respect your decision. That's a good one.
And it's like...
All right, so I'm worried about what you got picked on. The ones coming down, though.
Okay.
You're not giving Wagner any love, it looks like. Because you're like, you're Piper?
Hold on.
And you're talking about, but these guys just came from a different district?
New Braunfels,
too. That's another one that can take 3.
New Braunfels.
They've been playing big ball too.
All right, so this is mine. Okay, I got Smith and Valley winning.
Hey, but New Braunfels lost Mango though.
They did, but they picked up Lavernia's coach.
True. But it's gonna take.
I Mango's my dude, but
I think it'll take him about a year.
And exactly like you said, what did you say about Warren and the players? They're going to have to learn to trust.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with New Braunfels players. They love the coaching staff, and they are energized about it. So I love hearing that.
For sure.
I mean, and that's coming from one of their team captains who's, a second-year captain.
So where do you got New Braunfels in, if you love that?
I got New Braunfels 3rd.
Okay. So who's 1?
I got Smith and Valley 1.
And who's 2?
Piper 2. New Braunfels 3, and I've got Wagner and Seguin battling it out, and that's
gonna be a good district, to be honest with you. It's gonna be a competitive district.
It's gonna be an entertaining, fun time.
Yeah,
and your DBs better be ready.
Though the ones that come out of that district are gonna be playoff tested for sure.
They're going to be ready. Yeah, they're going to be ready. It's a really good mix of games that
it's like a playoff game every week.
That you should win in district. And then,
but New Braunfels and like Smith and Valley and Wagner kind of used to seeing each other already, so they'll be accustomed to each other.
Right, but the new rivalry is going to be Piper and Smith and Valley. That's a competing area school.
Or Piper and Bernie. But yeah, you're right. Piper and Smith and Valley, they're right next to each other.
Yeah,
you're correct.
So that's going to be good. And then, of course, like I spoke on them earlier, Caden Keith leaving Piper, going to Southside,
and coming back,
and the weapons that he has. Shout out to Isaiah Champagne, who just committed to UIW a couple hours ago. So congratulations on that. And he almost, I'm not saying, no, he wasn't even my player of the game versus Alamo Heights, but you got most of that team.
But when I think about all this, man, you got to be like strategic, right? And be honest.
Yeah.
Injuries happen, bro. Who has the most athletes, though? Who has the most athletes?
I've seen their receiver play with the broken hand.
All right. So their quarterback, they got good quarterbacks?
Yeah. Jake South last year. Now they got Caden Keith, who with Coach Rogers.
It's going to be about keeping them both happy now and see if one of them doesn't check out throughout the season.
No. Jake South is gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. So, I mean, if my understanding is correct, Caden Keith is going to be leading that ship. So if he has a coach like Coach Rogers with that offensive mentality, which you saw the difference between Alamo Heights and Piper glaring, you saw that difference in just the ideology of how a football game can be won and played. And you had flexible versus rigid, and this is how we do it.
No, Caden Keith, he's due for a big season. I mean, we'll see how he adjusts.
Right. So, yeah, I'm just excited about this one. But, Smithson Valley leaning on their defense and leaning on the athletes that they have on that defensive line.
I mean, I say every year they're always tough. I mean, you can go back and look at old clips, man. He always has,
and they're not going to beat themselves.
Yep.
They're not going to beat themselves. Like,
they're always fundamentally sound and find a way to win.
Exactly. I remember talking to you at the playoff game, the last game when my nephew was the linebacker and we had Isaiah was on the defensive line that time, and they had the better athletes. Madison did,
yeah,
but just that coaching and I don't know. So
that Madison squad was pretty deep, also.
Yeah,
a lot of mental breakdown.
Yeah, because they had Kyle on that squad too.
Mm-hmm. They had Coop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they had some guys. So
Miguel Becker.
Yeah,
my boy was cold.
Yeah, Delaney.
Yeah.
So we could go on and on about this district. I like your picks. Because that's why we have a contrast. Because in no way was I thinking you were gonna say, in which I like Champion's quarterback. I'm very interested in him. I love his moxie and his competitive nature. So,
Champion's another fundamentally sound team.
Yeah.
They're always, stick to the basics.
And it's funny because you could say, well, they had a down year last year. It's like, do you know how many people would take that down year?
Yeah.
So just like Brennan had a down year last year and they won 10 games.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. So we got 2 and 4. Which other one you want?
Let's go. Whatever one's up next. Let's shake them up. Shake them up.
2. Here we go. Speaking of Madison, we are going to 6A District 27. Brandeis, Churchill, Clark, Johnson, Lee, Madison, Reagan, and Roosevelt. So who's winning this district to you?
Before all this, I would have said Johnson. Possibly.
Right.
Now we're looking at possibly. I don't know, man. I like what Madison brings to the table. I also like what Reagan brings to the table.
Shout out Coach Hamilton.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be an interesting district, man. It's not a district that I think that's.
And Coach Kimmy at Brandeis.
Yeah. I mean,
you've got schools that I think this is a calling card district.
It's one of those districts that's really up in the air for me, I think, to be honest with you.
It is, and I feel like what's
if I had to pick one right now within 5 seconds, I would go with Reagan, Brandeis, Madison.
Right, and who's your 4th?
Roosevelt.
Okay.
And I think Roosevelt could also be a shocker and actually finish top 3 possibly.
So we got the same squads, just in a different order. I got Reagan, Johnson, Brandeis, and Roosevelt Madison battling for that last spot.
Yeah.
And to me, maybe especially definitely with the Roosevelt angle, it's gonna be okay, that's another new coach.
Yep.
That's another new coach there. There's a new coach at Brandeis. Johnson and Reagan both had their coaches. Reagan's, of course. So it's gonna be.
But I really like out of all the coaching moves, the ones I kind of like the most is the Brandeis one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that him coming in for Bruce is going to be good, man. I mean, because what he did out there at Memorial, you know what I'm saying? And Memorial hadn't won any games.
Right.
For them to go to the playoffs and all that stuff, they were on the streak. I mean, that was impressive to do it with them kids. And he had the whole community buy into his system. Now he's doing the same thing at Brandeis, but now guess what? With some athletes. You know what I'm saying? With some athletes, and he has a system that he's going to incorporate. That I think he's going to catch everybody by surprise, man. Because I mean, he was a next player himself. You know what I mean? Not just a teacher or somebody that got his teaching certificate.
So, and I've been so excited because I think, you know, for lack of a better term, I think for Brandeis, it's always been thirsty for an offense that is not appeasing to the eye, but, you know, something that's going to complement that defense, because that defense is, especially in the secondary, has always been something that's held that team together because of the athletes that they've had. And they still have, I kind of put their secondary in the same breath as Brennan when it comes to, okay, you've got Escobar, Brennan, and you've got Darren Hall over at Brandeis, who are those figureheads. And seemingly, I'm not saying the defenses are thinning, but there's normally ways that you can call out multiple names on the defensive secondaries of both those programs. And they're the ones who are like, okay, so who's going to be after y'all? So I think that that's going to be the necessity in those defenses, as who's going to be that next guy to replace them, because we knew that they would have the expectations and the talent level and the ability, and they've shown that they're willing to carry that torch for the defense and the secondary.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm waiting on to see at Brandeis, who's going to be the guys who step up. But I do have them third, of course. And I think if there was a team to slip up, it might be Johnson, because you lost one of the biggest players in the country. So that's not an easy replacement.
No.
By any means. So I think I'm gonna love to see how Coach goes about the game planning and taking advantage of squads who might just be like thirsty to play Johnson, because you might get different looks that are favorable to you that you didn't get from teams being over aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, so
or before they weren't as aggressive because they were spying Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? So now they're gonna be a little more aggressive because it's almost like, hey man, there's blood in the water now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then you're gonna mess around and Jaden's gonna be running open, or Bryson's gonna be running open, or you know, like it's gonna be interesting. Like there's so many storylines, but end all be all, I got Reagan winning that district with the running game and Cole and their defense. So with Cole Pryor, I should say, and their defense and Coach Hamilton, because that's a squad. Just they played Brennan tough when Brennan was at their strongest. So
that's another school that when we talk about culture, that already has a built culture around their head coach. You know what I mean? And everyone buys into it. The community buys into it. That's really important.
And then even though their offensive coordinator isn't there, he was formerly at Texas at UTSA, and so you've got that for all those young kids carrying over now that I've already seen the proof in the pudding of the work that he did. So whoever comes in after him is like getting a really good product of player.
Yeah.
All right, last district, and I think we all know what district this is. It just so happened to fall this way. Is 29 6A. 29 6A. And that is Canyon, Clemens, East Central, Buda Johnson, Judson, San Marcos, and Steele. How do you have this district falling out? Should I say anything about who's winning this district?
You can.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Shake it up.
Who's winning this district not named Steele?
Judson.
So if this district is won by somebody not Steele, it's Judson.
I said Justin's gonna put it off this year because they're not gonna be battling that whole quarterback controversy type of thing anymore, trying to make people happy or whatever the case was last year. Not only that, the staff's already been established. They have 1 year under the belt, with those kids,
Right.
because it was their last year, Soto's first year over there.
But their DB coaches now it's Steele.
Yeah, their DB coaches. No, it's still, you're right, and still stacked up. But you said other than still winning it, who else would win it?
Okay.
But that doesn't change the athletes that Judson got. Though
True.
the athletes don't change. You still got to respect because it's Judson. But I think Elijah's gonna have a great season. I think he's gonna come in and shock a lot of people.
Elijah Favela.
Yep, he's gonna shock a lot of people. I think he'll be one of the better quarterbacks in the city this year, without a doubt. That's a kid that I think that everybody's been sleeping on, including yourself, because he is not on your top 30. So, but that'll iron itself out. Cream always rises to the top.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The cream always rises to the top. So I think that I think Judson will finish off second, and then you got, let me see, who else you think? I mean, Clemens lost their coach too.
Yeah.
And they lost Harvey also. So they're in a coaching rebuilding type of situation.
Right. And I haven't heard much on that front.
You know who I would put in as a sleeper? San Marcos.
They're not eligible.
What? Oh yeah, because of that. I forgot about that. So you should have left them out of there when you listen.
Well, I mean, I'm showing the.
Yeah. All right. So what else we got?
You got Canyon, Clemens, East Central, Buda, Johnson. I got.
So we're gonna go Steele, Judson, and we'll go Buda, Johnson.
Okay. And fourth?
Clemens.
Okay. So I got Steele winning, Judson second, Canyon, Buda, Johnson battling it out with Clemens for that last spot.
See, because Canyon too has gone through another coaching change.
Right. Because their coach is up in McKinney, or was their coaches now. Their four old coaches up in McKinney now. But this is my thought with Buda. They're coming over from the district, and they've been playing Lake Travis these past couple years. So I'm wondering what that carryover and that representation of football is going to look like now in this district.
Oh yeah, I think they'll be battle tested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they'll be battle tested.
And they've got some kids that I definitely want to see. I'm glad I'm going to be able to get out to
that's why I put them at 3.
There. Yeah.
They'll be battle tested.
Because in this district, if this was a regular district, if Smithson Valley was in this district, I would, like traditionally how this district had looked was not this. So I think that that's really good timing for them coming into this district. But I also like the fact that I like Canyon in there. And outside of Steele, that's going to be fun to watch how they, separate themselves between the rest of the teams. The rest of these teams are going to be good after Steele. after Steele, these teams are just going to be duking it out. They're going to be doing their thing and putting stuff together, and the other 3 teams are going to be the other 3 teams.
I agree with you, buddy.
I don't know where that came from.
It's the people you were hanging with that's on that ship, boy. That's your work voice. Caught him. That's how he acts at work, Joe.
Got him.
Mm-hmm. Got him right now.
We need to get a video of him live trying to cheat off of your picks, man.
Yep.
That's coming up next,
That's gonna be coming up next on the next episode of.
And that
the next episode of Cheaters.
Yeah. For sure.
That wasn't me. All right, so that's our recap of the districts or the forecast of the season. for those 4 districts that we chose, all the 6A and a 5A district. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll get to the pick'ems. Hey, we are back. This is episode 150 of Along the Wire, and this is the season kickoff for the 24-25 season episode. So we are going to get into our pick'em, and actually, the mic sounds off. Hold on.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. The mic was
user error.
There we go.
I don't know about mic being off.
It was
sir.
glitching, you
No, I
know.
was getting away from him, man.
It was glitching.
Hey,
was
Joe,
glitching.
the mic's off. Oh, my bad. I need to put it in front of your face.
I had a real before we did this. I had a real nice graphic with the football player.
Yeah.
And Brandon started getting a little jealous, man.
Yeah,
Cut.
I think that's when he jumped up.
Hey, he said, hey,
He said, hey,
where
why
my
is-
football player at? I said,
How
calm down
come,
there.
how come Gomez has that and I don't? That's when you ruin the mic, man.
Man, he came in with the sleeveless shirt today,
Yup.
dude. Man, he ready to throw down.
I thought you said you missed us, bro. Pause.
All right, so we're gonna get into the pick'ems, and I'm glad we're in a great mood because I've got a surprise for everybody.
What's the surprise?
I want to put a stipulation on this. I owe Coach Gomez a belt because he's been the pick'em champion the past couple years.
Two-time
We can edit that
two-time
out.
champion.
Two-time champion. So I say this year, only if you agree to it, that when we pick these by the difference, when we pick these, if we have a loss, we pick a game and it's wrong, we have to do 2 push-ups per loss. And then by however many games a person loses by between us, add 2 more push-ups per loss.
I got another one for you, man. At the end of the season, whoever loses has to wear a shirt to the first game of the next season that says, I stink at pick'ems.
Nah, let's do that for the first playoff game.
Okay.
I stink
I
at
stink
pick'em.
at pick'ems.
Okay, deal.
That's a good one.
Deal.
I stink at pick'em.
Deal. Deal.
You got to
Yeah.
take a picture, too. I want
There
to see
we go,
that.
man. That's
Deal.
a good one.
So are you good with the push-ups?
So why you gotta make it all complicated? Just say, hey man, if you win this whole thing or this week, you got 20, you got 30.
Okay.
Let's do it like that.
Okay. All right.
Because I already know us.
We'll
We're gonna be
say-
rambling on, and we're gonna forget marking them all down.
We'll say it's a 20-week, 30-week. We'll say it's a 20 or a 30-week.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, cool. So the first week will be a 30-week.
That's cool.
All right, cool. Let's get into the pick'ems. All right. So we got my pick'ems up there, and Gomez is going to be looking at his, and so we're going to see where we differ on our pick'ems. Game 1, Brandeis versus O'Connor. I've got Brandeis. Are we in agreement?
In agreement. I got Brandeis on that one.
Okay, Bernie versus Piper. I've got Bernie.
I got Bernie too, man. Why would you choose Piper? I mean, I'm not in a bad way, but Bernie's stacked. I mean, you got the guy who leads it all on the center as far as Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's a returner, the dude, the Hoss. Then you got Logan, who's there on the offensive lineman. You got Hank Hendricks, who just came out of nowhere last year and just surprised everybody at quarterback and has Jackson
Right.
Days like, what happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? Then you got who else you got? You got Elijah
Yeah.
Hanks,
Yeah.
you know, who's another athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're fixing to make another run, man, and
Brooks Perez.
Brooke Perez. But I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna be a tough one for Piper to open up with. For
It
sure.
is. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of purple.
It's gonna be fun. What
A lot of purple.
watching Bernie score
You don't think Piper's gonna score?
a few times, but not as much as Bernie.
All right,
let's
so
go.
We got
I'm
Bernie.
just shaking it up,
Hey,
baby.
man,
here we
I
go.
think somebody misspelled Piper, by the way, too, man.
No.
Is that how you spell it?
Yeah.
All right, just checking.
Piper.
I don't know the guy who does that thing. He works overnight, so don't worry about it. We'll be all right. We all
All right.
know what he's talking about.
Game 3, Smithson Valley versus Roosevelt.
I think I had.
It's an early season game.
Yeah, I think I may have I got Smith and Valley on it
All right, I got Smithson Valley as well.
because they're going to be disciplined right off the rip. for
Number
sure.
4, did you go with your heart on this one?
Yes, I did.
Pearsall versus Edison.
I went with Edison. They got their quarterback who's coming back, which he was young last year, had some bumps and bruises, but I think he's gonna come, a little strong. You got a kid up by the name of AZ that no one knows about. Arzola's his last name. But that boy, he's quick, man.
Okay.
As long as he can keep his grades right, stay out of trouble, I think Edison, he's gonna be competing with them, bro. He's gonna be giving Edison a little spark that they need and they've been missing. Not only that, he needs to stay healthy. He's a tiny kid, but really impressive, mentally strong. Once again, another kid that you need a coach on them that shows, hey, I believe in you, kid.
Right.
You gotta believe in yourself, type of thing. But
right.
I think they'll be behind AZ and the quarterback.
Okay. Game 5, Clemens versus Taft. I have Taft. Who do you have?
I put Clemens.
Okay, so we
Clemens.
differ in that one. All right, cool. Game 6, South Sam versus McCullum.
I got McCullum.
I have McCullum as well.
Just coming at one point, Southside was one of those schools. I mean, Southside. I'm sorry. Southside was one of them schools. The Bobcats were one of them schools that they're always competing year in, year out. But throughout the years, I guess they've had some administrative issues. A lot of things have fell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's sad because that's a big district with some.
And their head coach is a district kid. He went to South San West Campus, and he went to South San. So
yeah, I mean, if you don't got people that are running it right up there, man, those kids are just gonna fall through the cracks, bro. So it's sad to see, but I hope they can get their stuff together out there.
San Marcos versus Hutto. Who you got?
I believe I put Hutto.
You got Hutto. I got San Marcos. I think they're gonna come out and actually I just received some footage on some of their players, so I'm excited. I know they lost their receiver, their best receiver,
San Marcos,
for the season. Yeah,
San Marcos. They have some good guys right now. I mean, they're going to compete, but I think the next couple of years is when they're really going to dominate.
Exactly. Let me go to game 8, Kennedy versus Robstown.
Oh, Robstown.
I went with Kennedy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kennedy over Robstown. Highlands versus Pleasanton. Who you got?
I went with Pleasanton.
I went with Pleasanton as well. Number 10, Veterans Memorial versus Davenport.
I went with Davenport.
I went with Davenport too.
I went with Davenport.
This game right here, game 11, was the game that took me the longest to decide on. Antonian versus Holy Cross.
To me, I hate saying it because I'm a button guy, CC guy, but Antonian's been on the up and up the last few years, man. And Holy Cross, I mean, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it now, early in the season. That's if they do it, they're gonna have to do it now. Anytime later in the season, I'm worried about health.
And that's the argument I was having
and
in my head.
And numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can they do it for 4 quarters? I know that Harrison does a great job over there. He'll throw you the kitchen sink. He does great adjustments. Great offensive-minded guy. Defensively, they're defensive sound. But at the end of the day, it's injuries, and do you have numbers, man?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's something that Antonian has right now is numbers. They got a great coaching staff. They just got to give them credit when the credit's due, man.
So you're going with?
I think I went with Antonian, right?
Okay. I mean, you were giving your explanation for why they're. I'm not gonna say.
No, I went with Antonian.
Giving that Antonian love right there. Look at that button. Look at that.
Hey, it's all good. I didn't graduate from there. Kids did.
Okay.
You just said it a little while ago. Your alma mater, the Bears.
I know. Golden Bear. All right. So I have Antonian as well.
Got you.
All right. Alamo Heights.
And that was because of your pick, or because when you're on the cruise, you're like, you know what?
No,
that sounded good. Gomez, you know what? I'm going with Antonian.
No, I'm telling you.
Nah.
That was the last pick that I made, because I was exactly how you said early in the season. I'm like, man. So game 12, Alamo Heights versus Seguin. Who do you have?
That one's gonna be a good one. But I have to go with the Alamo Heights, man. I mean, Alamo Heights, of course, yeah, you got Michael Terry, but then at the end of the day, you got size though at Heights, right? And you got athleticism. Um, but I also think that you know what I mean. Seguin has the same.
I'm
That's why I
gonna
say
shake it up.
It's gonna be a good game.
I'm shaking it up right now.
Go Taylor.
I picked Seguin
Go shake
early.
There you go.
I picked Seguin early. I need to see Alamo Heights deal with that speed at the receiver. They got a good receiver coming back who was injured all last year, and they've got Nicholas Henry.
Mr. Terry's not going to answer your phone calls this week.
And they've got...
He just shook it up all right.
And they've got... I need to see what the Alamo Heights defense is going to do because I just have faith in Daly and those receivers and them understanding that he can get them the ball. I just need to see it. I need to see it. And because I do draw back on the Piper game last year, there was no reason that the Alamo Heights squad shouldn't have been at state.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Seguin on that one. Bernie Champion versus Laredo United South. Who'd you got?
Bernie Champion.
Bernie Champion for me as well. East Central versus Harlan. I like that matchup early.
Harlan.
I got Harlan as well, but I expect that to be a fun game to watch. I'm gonna enjoy going back and watching that one because I won't be there, but that's a game. New Braunfels versus Laredo United. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with.
Wait, I'm lying.
You got New Braunfels and Madison.
Lying. Yeah,
I'm going with Madison.
New Braunfels versus Madison. I'm going with New Braunfels.
I'm going with Madison.
Okay. I got Warren versus Laredo United.
Go with Warren.
I got Warren as well.
Started off 1-0 right there. I think if they start off 1-0 right there,
and they've played each other 3 times in the last 2 years.
They'll be rolling.
So I mean, but now the only difference is the change at the head coach. But then their best 2, 3, 4 players for Laredo United are gone.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and they lost when they had them. So, but they were still a good squad, putting up crazy numbers offensively too. Somerset versus Southside.
I'm surprised they did this one so early, man. Game 1. I know they did it for the Pigskin Classic, right?
But that's for the Pigskin Classic, right?
Again this year,
right? No.
Yeah. Last year was.
Yeah.
But this year,
but to do it this year, this early,
like, middle season, whatever. But I got Coy. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Detmer's gonna take it again.
Sitting up in that booth with him next to me, yelling out the plays and calling out like what he sees in the defense and making those adjustments, put me over the top. And I picked Somerset over Southside as well.
Oh yeah, man. He's owned Southside the last few years, bro. Straight up. I mean, I love Coach Locke in there, bro, but he owns you right now, sir. Being the Stephen A. Smith right now, the Bdammone
show. Marshall versus Laredo Alexander.
I went with Marshall.
I went with Marshall as well. Johnson versus Judson. First off, I mean, I get the coaching. I'm wondering why this game's 3 years in a row.
One name. Elijah, baby. We're winning it.
Okay.
Day, Judson's winning, baby.
Okay.
Judson's winning. Why, you got Johnson on that one? That's what it sounded like.
I got Johnson.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna be doing push-ups.
I got Johnson winning that one. Okay. Central Catholic versus Gonzalez.
I'm gonna go with Central Catholic on this one. Early game in the season. I think they might be able to slip up with a W.
Okay. Jefferson versus Southwest Legacy.
I went with Southwest Legacy.
Me too. Southwest Legacy. Still versus Liberty Hill.
You know what? I didn't even mark that one because I wasn't unsure. I think you noticed that.
Still versus Liberty Hill?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Still though, the home team.
Well, then we're even because apparently my football didn't translate to the very last game on this one. So I'll make that pick before you say yours. Since I gave you my answer already, and then you took that one. Sotomayor versus Clark. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Sotomayor.
Sotomayor as well. I got them. Brennan versus Reagan.
I went with Brennan.
I went with Reagan.
I went with Brennan.
Okay. And then the last game, Stevens versus Churchill. I'm gonna go with Churchill.
Churchill.
Okay. So, do you know how many we differ?
Not right now.
Yeah, I'm showing Coach Gomez's pick'ems as well.
Okay. How many? Do you know the difference?
I don't know the difference.
Okay.
As far because the graphic, the way it's set up is it has yours and then it has Gomez.
Okay. Yeah. So our pick'ems are in. We've agreed this is a 30 push-up week. So whoever loses this owes 30 push-ups. And shout out to Deshae, Coach Milburn for that, who bets push-ups on the spot push-ups. So that's different. At least ours are in the studio. Deshae will have you doing push-ups while you're in the middle of the game or at Texas State watching them lose to UTSA. Shots, Deshae.
Bring your mat, dogs. Your palms don't get dirty. Gloves,
yeah. I don't. Is that what you require for your push-ups?
Hell no.
I'm just saying
because you got them soft hands. You always bring your lotion. He has his lotion here tucked somewhere.
That's to protect the ash. Look at that.
Look at that.
He can't be coming up in here doing the show ashy, man. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on,
what
man.
is that? I got to be shining. All right,
baby.
All right. So that's it for this segment, and we're gonna come back and just talk about a couple of players. We'll just shoot some names out there. So we'll be back. What it do is Bdammone,
Coach Gomez,
and we're gonna close this out with the conversation that I get approached the most about. Who's the best team in San Antonio? I don't think that's a question as into program, but of course they go with the biggest one. So with with respect to Smithson Valley being 5A, the biggest school, the biggest best of the city is Steele.
I mean, not only that, because you don't got Brendan stacked like they were.
Right.
The Bows was there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because before you could argue it was Steele with Brendan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so to pick up on the conversation that that I've had with people and can still win state. If it's not going to be this year, then that, for lack of a better term, would be a setback. And then the picture is going to get foggy for the next San Antonio 6A program that would legitimately have a shot at winning state.
Oh, yeah.
Am I fair in saying that?
I think you're fair in saying that. I think right now Steele has the weapons to possibly make that run. Guys that have that continuity together. They've had that coaching staff intact for years already. All buy into the system. And they got guys that play with each other off season.
Yeah.
7-7.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
7-on-7 is huge when you build that continuity.
And they've got that experience from last year to build on to this year.
Exactly.
At very main key points.
Yeah.
Yes, you lost some in the secondary. Yes, you lost some linebackers. You lost some on the D and a little on the O-line. So it's going to be, this is the squad that went through that, and now I believe them as seniors, this class of seniors, this is one of the reasons why I'm super excited about the season in San Antonio high school football, because I think you could see a very, I want to say angry. I do want to say an angry Steel squad, because, there's a respect, and there's a we're going to show y'all.
I think it's what we were talking about earlier offline. It's going to have to be want in the trenches, man. Are
Right.
they gonna have them dogs in the trenches? Are they still gonna have that sour taste in their mouth when they lost to Summer Creek?
Right.
And not only that, take that whenever they go and play in Jerry's World, and are you gonna be able to have that same dominance that you're gonna have all year long come to the big game against a Duncanville? You know, can you battle? Are you in shape for 4 quarters? Are you in shape for 13, 14 games, whatever it's gonna take to get there?
Right.
Are you gonna be built for that? Have you set yourself up 1-2 man deep to have players, if hey, we get an injury, that hey, the next man up's gonna step up and be just as effective as number one?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure Steele has a plan because, you know, they, like I said, they've been doing it for years and there's a tradition out there. But it's just who's going to step up? Is going to be Sean Robinson. You know what I mean?
Playing linebacker now.
Yep. I mean, is that guy going to dominate?
Right.
Or is it going to be their new DB, Eli?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be a big name that's going to be? I mean, you just don't know.
And then you got kids like, you know, Jalen Morgan.
Yep. And then you got receiver that transferred in. Didn't we have a receiver that transferred in over there?
No,
not after.
no, that's Johnson.
Johnson, there you go.
That's Johnson.
But you got
but then you
still got Royal there.
You got Royal. You've got Coop.
Coop.
You've got Sean Robinson, and you got Grant Hamilton. Grant Hamilton is a kid that I think is very underrated. You know, kind of like when they had Riley. I want to say Riley, the receiver. But I think Grant is a kid who, whenever you're all zoned up on Cooper or you're manned up and focused, you got a guy over top, and then you're watching Royal. You know, Grant's going to be that dude who can easily have a 600, 700, 800-yard season with some very clutch moments and keep that offense. And now it's like we got another headache to worry about.
Yeah,
I definitely see Steele as a threat to win state. And as of this point right now, I want them to win it more than I am certain that they will win it. But I think that they can make state. They can make state. With even with how that game looked versus Summer Creek, you're not going to see Summer Creek again.
Yeah.
And I think this is a squad that has enough to get to state. You know, like you said, versus Duncanville. Whoever's gonna be at that state game is gonna get a pissed off Steel squad that's gonna be focused and not overly pissed off and they're not gonna be relaxed when they get there either, because they're not gonna feel like, okay, we made it, this is it. Like, nah, like
no, they gotta stay focused, man. They gotta be a team that puts fear in people,
right?
Like, you know, them Tommy Armstrong teams, them freaking.
And the first test of that is going to be week 4 versus Westlake, or week 2 versus Reagan. You know, like I don't think this is a squad that's going to be lackadaisical in week to week prep. I don't think Coach Sines is going to allow for that at all. And I think if anybody understands it, it's going to be him being in that locker room and understanding the young men that he has and the squad that he has. So I think every team's going to be focused, and you could see Steele put up some serious points on people and crush people, kind of how they did Brennan at the beginning of the season last year. It was like 42-0 at halftime or something crazy. Yeah. So I definitely feel this is the best squad in San Antonio to win state, the N6A or regardless. I think they're going to be a focus squad. They are a veteran group. Like you said, they've been playing together in 7-on-7 and for years before that.
Yeah, when they were kids, on Pop Warner or whatever they played,
Outlaws,
yeah.
So it's going to be, this is the moment. And these kids have earned the right for that pressure and that responsibility, and I think that they all look forward to it, and they know exactly what they can achieve.
Yeah.
So
they know what's at stake. You know
exactly.
What I mean? And they could be something special, like we said. I mean, after them, I mean, I don't know who else is going to run it to where they're going to be in the top 4 in the state, you know, after this group.
Right. And there's a school that we'll talk about.
Unless we want to shake it up.
There's a school that I could say in the future, because last year, Nah, I don't want to get off topic. All right. Steele's got state this year.
Good luck. Handle business all year, on and off the field.
On and off the field, take care of the grades, do the extra credit work. Keep your grades first. You don't do nothing on the field without getting those grades in. Do the extra credit. Don't slack. Get your sleep. Pay attention to your mom. Pay attention to your aunties, your uncles, everybody who's supported you along the way. Put forth your best effort and be the best person you can be. And don't be a distraction to your teammates. Be a support system. If it's not positive, don't mess with it. If it's not to the greater good of you and your future and your team's success, don't mess with it.
Nope. Stay hydrated. Drink them multivitamins. Stay away from everything else, baby.
Exactly. So that's been episode 150 of Along the Wire. We are back, and we will be back, and we will continue to give you the best high school football coverage of San Antonio high school football. And
if y'all want us to go and support y'all pep rally, or do you want us to show up at a game? I mean,
exactly.
we have our schedule, but I mean, if you invite us personally, that doesn't mean we can change. We can make some changes.
we
you
can
know what I'm
make
saying? If
adjustments.
you want to personally invite us out there, reach out to us on Instagram. Reach out to us on Twitter.
Right.
Hey, man, as long as you got it lined out, don't reach out to us and you don't got no plan. Reach out to us and you got a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, like I said, this has been an episode 150 of Along the Wire. We are back in the studio. Hope y'all like the new digs and the new setup, because we're feeling it, and we are back and ready to continue to do this thing. Birds up, hook 'em, 210. We out.
Peace.